Let's support our coverage using Blueberry, the community that gives creators the ability to make money, get detailed audience measurements, and host their audio and video. Get 30 days to try out the service using promo code BLUBRRY004.
Pascal, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
All right. I'm betting we're talking about bees.
All right, Ben.
So it's called Lifehive, and I'll give you a little bit of so Lifehive Innovation Solution fights. How's it pronounced?
Varroa.
What is Varroa?
Varroa is a small parasite. It's 1.6 millimeters in diameter.
Okay.
And it's present in every beehive, and it's the beekeeper's worst nightmare because it causes up to 45% of colonies being lost each year. And so far, beekeepers rely on chemicals to treat. And a lot of them don't like to put chemicals in their hives.
Well, I would imagine. I mean, one of the things with honey, of course, is that it's supposed to be like an all-natural substitute as a sweetener, right?
Exactly.
I am a honey consumer. I will pick honey over anything else.
What's your favorite honey?
There's what, flavors? No.
Yeah. There's like, the nectar they collect is.
Yeah. I mean, I like all forms of honey, but I will tell you, have you ever had a whipped honey before?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that because I love how it melts on toast.
Yeah, that's just fantastic.
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's like just get the butter out of here. I just want this whipped honey on the toast. It's just so good.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm a big honey consumer, so I didn't know that there were other. I just buy honey. We have a local
beekeeper.
And she's been around for a long time, and she must have a lot of. I'm not familiar with the collection of honey. I mean, I understand that there are bees involved, and they have to go out and collect honey, from the hives. But I would have to, you get a jar, right, of honey. I would have to think that takes a long time for a bunch of bees to produce.
Yeah, it's millions of flights. The bees, they are 1 gram in size, and they collect 10% of their body weight. So it's 0.1 gram they collect with each flight. And sometimes if they need to fly far away, they need to consume some of that to make it back home.
I see.
There's millions of flights in 1 jar of honey.
That's remarkable, and we buy it for $3 or $8 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? I know it's a little more money than that, but when you think about the work that goes into making that 1 jar of honey, that seems remarkable.
Yeah.
Remarkably reasonably,
Yeah.
So, all right, so Varroa.
Varroa, exactly.
All right, so and this is a little parasite in bees, and yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't want to consume the chemicals either. I'm sure the bees don't want to either. So how are you preventing Varroa from being a part of the bee colony?
Yeah, so the mite has really become a problem in the last 40 years. So it's a relatively new problem, biologically, and when it entered the European and American hives, it becoming a big problem because without any treatment against the parasite, hive dies off within 1 to 2 years. And the way it affects the bees is like the mite attaches to the bee's body, and then it bites it, and this bite causes like infections, and then viruses enter the bee's body, and in the end, a bee colony is like 30 to 50,000 individual bees. And if all of those bees are weakened by the parasite, then the whole colony is weakened and don't make it through winter. And this is what causes this colony collapse disease.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you said like all colonies have this now?
Yeah, all colonies have this, and roughly 1 out of 2 hives does not make it through winter. So this is an enormous economic efforts by the beekeepers who need to recoup their hives, split them, and get new bees in there in order to provide all the pollination that's so much required in our agriculture.
And there's a significant bee shortage now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know. I mean, we talk about it often about how cell phone towers or something is, and I didn't know about this mite, this parasite. That Varroa. I'm really gonna study this now. By the way, that was affecting the colonies as well. I mean, we're talking a significant problem here because of the food. I don't think most people understand the production of food and that relationship between food and bees.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, it's really like estimations, but there's a saying 1 out of 3 bites of food depends on bee pollination.
See, I would say that was probably pretty accurate. It might even be higher than that. You know, I mean, you think about every fruit and vegetable.
Everything is bee pollinated.
Yeah, and then you could take it even farther. So even your proteins, I mean, the foods that they eat to grow was probably pollinated by a bee at some time.
Exactly.
You know, so that's what I mean. That maybe that number would even be higher.
Yeah, and this affects us as a whole society.
Right.
And that's as well like why we stepped in. I grew up in a beekeeping family. We're 4th-generation beekeepers.
Wow.
And we always loved caring for the bees and doing something for nature in our own environment. But then we had the problem with the Varroa mites back in Switzerland where we live. And we wanted to get rid of chemical treatments. And this is exactly how we came up with this one. This has a foundation, or this is called a frame, and it has a foundation in it. And in this foundation, we have embedded a heating element. You can probably see it.
Yeah, I can see it there, yeah.
So with this heating element, we can detect when it's the right biological moment to treat. And then we can apply a treatment at 108 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 hours. And this eradicates the offsprings of the mites while keeping the bees safe.
So it doesn't impact the bees, but it kills the mites.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty practical solution.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, we have put 10 years of development into that.
Okay.
It sounds like a very simple concept, and I think
simple
the concept,
is best, right?
Yeah, the concept is simple. Obviously, like, you know, it's always the details that make a product thrive or fail. So we have invested heavily as well, for example, in a problem like, you know, with these mechanics here. This is just like a miniature version of a hive.
Okay.
But one of our biggest challenge was that we need to put reliable contact to the frames, because a beekeeper wants to work the hives. You know, he wants to open up the hive and then take out a hive, check out, oh, queen is here, all right, I'll put it back in. So this needs to work with no cables, with no strings attached, basically.
Okay.
But then, on the other hand, we need to make sure that if a beekeeper puts back the frame, that we have then afterwards a reliable connection again.
Gotcha.
And this is why we've developed, for example, this mechanical feature here that makes sure that it cuts through propolis, it cuts through wax and honey, to make sure that we have, you know, we use tech in a clever way to help the beekeeper. That's our mission. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm going back to your original question about what kind of honey. Were you referring to, like, you know, if
should I give you a little bit of a selection?
Yeah, that'd
all right.
be great.
So I'll start with the most special one is the Manuka honey, which is origin to New Zealand, and this is like a plant that only grows in New Zealand.
Okay.
And the plant has like very antibacterial properties. So if the bees collect the nectar from Manuka and create Manuka honey out of it, then if you eat that Manuka honey, it will have very, very good properties as well for your health.
I see.
Or you could, for example, as well use that honey for wound healing. So there's a lot of people putting honey on their wounds, which will help disinfect their wounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is like the most special one. There is the buckwheat honey. There's all kinds of honey.
See, I mean, I'm told all the time with honey that you should, if you have allergy issues, that you should consume local honey because it'll help you combat that as well. Because the pollens that are in the honey that are probably impacting you help fight that a little bit. So I thought that was interesting, and it seems to be true. You know, I don't know. So does it change the flavor too?
Yeah, I mean the flavor can. There's a wide spectrum of flavors in honey. So Manuka is like really strong.
Okay.
Like then there is like, you know, for example, canola honey.
Yeah.
Which is like very whitish. You can I personally I love canola honey. Then there is as well like chestnut honey, which is as well on the stronger edge.
And the bees are just collecting from those different type of flowers. So if there's an apple orchard nearby,
they go to the apple orchard.
Yeah.
The bees are they go wherever they want. There's like wherever there is food, you'll find bees.
And their nectar is a result of whatever they're collecting, so it'll have a little apple flavor to it or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah.
I just never really thought about that because I've always bought my honey from one producer, and I just never really even Wow. I don't mean to be shocked by that, but I'm going to be looking for special honeys now, so that's good to know. All right, so, I mean, we're way off topic here, Pascal, but how do we find out more information? How do beekeepers, protect their colonies with your product?
Yeah, so what we've actually done in the past 10 years is we've developed this product. This is the 7th generation of the product that we've developed. And we have as well validated the product scientifically and demonstrated it on large farms in Alberta, Canada. And what we're now doing is we're launching it on Kickstarter by the end of February.
Okay.
So this is really targeting hobbyists, backyard, and new beekeepers.
Okay.
Because with our solution, we help them get rid of the number one problems they will have, which is the Varroa mite treatment.
Gotcha.
And this is covered for them, and then they can focus on the beautiful things of beekeeping, which is the bees and the honey, obviously.
Yeah. Very cool.
And the company is called Lifehive, so you can as well check out more information on our website, lifehive.io.
Okay. Very good. And just look for you on Kickstarter at the end of February.
Exactly,
well.
That's it.
So cool, yeah, so go out and invest in this, everybody. This is something that really is critical to the human race, so we have to take care of this problem. We have to get our bee population healthy again.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Appreciate that.
Pascal, I appreciate it as well.
Cool.
I love your outfit, by the way.
Hey, thanks.
So is that,
I thought I'd dress up for the show, you know?
Yeah. Is that like an original beekeeper outfit?
Yeah, this is how we go out to our bees.
So I've always seen like the yellow ones, right? I mean, why is there a color preference, or is it fashionable this way?
I think, if you go out to the hives, it's normally very hot summer days, and the sun is just like putting all her rays back down on you. So you try to have something as light as possible. That's why as well this one, we're not selling those ones, but this is very light. It has this mesh on top, which can breathe very nicely.
Yeah.
But the bees, if they sting in here, the stinger doesn't make it to your skin. So you're protected well while not sweating too much.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've been stung once or twice.
Maybe 3 times.
Pascal, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Cheers.
All right, take
care.
Have
a good one.
Yeah. Check that out, everybody. Lifehive. Let's get our bees healthy again. That would be great to do.
The Tech Podcast Network's CES 2025 coverage is executive produced by Adam Barker. Technical director is Kirk Corliss. Associate producers are Nancy Ertz, Tracy Ingram, Xerxes Goddard, Brandy Jackson, and Aviva Cram. Voiceover by Aaron Hurst. Our hosts are Marlo Anderson, Don Bain, and Scott Ertz. Studio and equipment are provided by PLUGHITZ Productions. The TPN studio executive is Todd Cochran. This has been a Tech Podcast Network production, copyright 2025.